Okay, hey, welcome everybody to another SoupRadio adventure. My name is Greg, and we're here at the Elite Conference in Scottsdale, Arizona today with a bunch of great shop owners, great vendors. The Elite Worldwide Conference is something that's very special. I myself am an Elite client, and proudly so. So it's one time where I get together and I meet a lot of really not just influential shop owners, but they're just darn good. And today, I'm really happy to have one of the finest young man I think I had the pleasure of getting to know over the years, Mr. Kelsey Outram from Lyft Automotive Marketing. Welcome, Kelsey. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me.
Good,
I'm doing great. Love to be here.
Good. You've got your whole marketing team. How many marketing team members do you have?
Our company has, I believe it's 36 people now.
Okay.
Here, but I have a sales guy here with me right now.
All right. So it's just you and him, and that's it, right?
Yeah, just us two right now.
That's all you need, right?
Yeah,
you
sure.
go back and take all that information back, right? So how long you been doing what you're doing?
Yeah, so my wife and I started our marketing company back in February of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And then we decided to focus on just auto repair in July of 2021.
Okay.
So it's been about... It'll be 5 years in the middle of this year. So,
right.
yeah,
that's
fun.
cool.
Yeah.
And the story is that Kelsey calls me up one day out of clear blue, but I think it was like 2021.
It was
a
few months after I started, like, just focusing on auto repair. Yeah.
And he's going, well, how can I get involved with automotive? And I'm like, what? Okay. And it was pretty funny, but I could tell right away, and this is the truth, one, you had gumption because you straight up called me. Right. And so you're okay. Well, let me see what I can do with Greg, and get any leads off of him. And then from there, you started slowly but integrating into the automotive space, right? And you had your own network of, I guess, other businesses prior to engaging automotive.
Yeah. So when we first started, my wife and I were living in the Austin, Texas area.
Okay.
And so all of our clientele were kind of local Austin, Texas companies, and that was going well, but then we got a business coach, and he was like, you should probably pick a niche to focus on. And so for us, at the time, we honestly did not have any auto repair related clients, but it kept coming back to us where it was like, this is an industry we believe we could have made an impact on. And like, we prayed about it, and we're like, everything kept coming back. We're like, you should go in this direction. And we decided to take the leap of faith. Our coach was like, you maybe want to pick something to let you have experience with. That way you have some case studies and things of that nature. But I was like, I understand that, but I feel that auto repair is where we need to go.
Sometimes you got to go with the seat of your pants, and go with your hunch.
No, exactly.
That's key.
And I'm very, very glad that we did take that leap of faith.
Yeah, that's good. And what makes Lyft like different, or what's your major advantage?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of good marketing companies out there, and especially even in the auto repair industry. I didn't realize there were going to be so many, even when we jumped in. It was like, this is an industry to go after, but then slowly but surely, I was like, oh, there's a good amount that's here, but there has to be a good amount for a reason. Like, there has to be a value add that is attainable. That's why other companies are there and viable. So for us, it was like, okay, how do we differentiate? How do we provide more value that is, one, going to be substantial, that people want to stay with us, but how do we make that impact for them? And I think one of the few things that made us different were immediately I was like, hey, we're offering exclusivity. Like, within a radius of a shop, we are not helping anybody else, because I mean, I'm a big competitor, and I wouldn't want my competition down the street to suddenly also being ranked above me, and they're using the same person. I'm like, I wouldn't feel good about that. So I was like, we're not going to offer that. We're going to make sure that, hey, whoever trusts us, especially early on, since we're a smaller company, like, they take a leap of faith with us. I'm like, hey, this is what I can do to reward you back. But a biggest thing is also our focus on the SEO side of things. I think a lot of other, like, ads are very important. Like, it's a very, very great way to attain new clientele, but it's not always the most affordable way and most, like, the best long-term venture. And so we focus a lot of heavy lifting on the SEO work day in and day out. And that way, again, months down the road, that as this snowball continues to build, and now they're not as dependent on needing all these extra dollars for ads as ads continue to get more expensive. It's like, no, they get plenty of organic leads naturally because of where they're ranking. And I think those elements. And I mean, we have a dedicated account rep that is meeting with people regularly, again, at least once a month, but usually multiple times a month, communicating with them. So there's a lot of levels to what we do, and I think we do a good job of definitely touching every data point of online marketing in general.
That's great. I mean, you do. I mean, yes, I'm a client of Kelsey's, but more importantly, I'm going to get you to know the young man who has the team underneath him. Now, what's the prequel to Lyft Automotive Marketing? What did you do prior? And what got you here?
Yeah, so my background actually was in finance. That's where that's what I studied in college. I played baseball in college, so that was also like that balancing effort of really loving the Braves. By the end of this podcast, by the way, we're hoping that Greg converts to being a Braves fan instead of a Phillies fan.
Phillies all the way, man. Go Fightins.
In my house, actually, my kids call the Phillies the PP heads. I don't know if that's okay to say on audio.
You're fine, man. Look, I got licenses and rights to say anything I want, so
Yeah, but like it's always a funny thing in our house. And so it's always funny when I meet another Northeastern friend, and then they're friends of that team, and they're like, I'm gonna do my best to
come in with a tomahawk in your hand.
Exactly. But back to what I kind of was up to. So I studied finance, and then I went into a little bit of accounting for tech companies, and I went into actual like FP&A. So that's budgeting for tech companies. I kind of bounced around. We were living in Utah originally. Then we moved to the Bay Area, and then I was working for companies there in the Bay Area. Then I went to Austin, worked with companies there, and then that's where when we moved to Texas, we finally decided to start our own thing because my wife, we had our son, our first child. And so my wife stayed at home. And then after about a year, I kind of got the itch to like, she wanted to do something again, but they didn't want to go back to the office because we didn't want to get a babysitter. We wanted her to definitely be like that presence at home. So I was just like, why don't we start our own thing and try? Like for me, I always wanted to get involved with sales, mainly because like my athletic peers, they all were in sales. So like all my best friends, and like being in finance, I see how much they make and like what that looked like. I'm like, I feel like I have a similar personality, and I could probably do that. But in this situation, our service that we'd be selling is how amazing my wife is at what she does. And I was like, I can really talk about that all day long. This is probably the easiest thing I ever have to talk about. And so we decided to again take that leap of like, let's start our own thing and see how it works. And slowly but surely, that's what.
And it led you to a web marketing company.
Yeah, as I heard her. So my wife's background is actually in marketing. So that's what she did in her previous life, I guess so to say. And she worked for different marketing companies doing SEO and ads and things of that nature. So that's where I felt a little bit more comfortable, because I had to learn it. Because I was like, hey, if I'm going to speak to this, and yes, I can talk great about you all I want, but if they start asking me questions and I don't know the answers, no one's going to believe me.
Correct.
So that's where I had to start pretty much studying from the ground up of like, hey, I need to understand this so that way we can speak to it. And then now, thankfully, I know a lot about it, and I feel like I can speak pretty confidently.
That's pretty wild. I'm learning every day. I didn't know that you had that journey prior to you creating your Lyft marketing company, and your trajectory. Well, it seemed like it was like a hockey stick, but that's pretty much. Is that the truth?
I think in the very, very beginning, I say like the first 6 months of our journey, it was maybe like one client a month, and I was like, hey, I didn't have any case studies or backing to be like, oh yeah, I work with all these other companies, so trust me. It took a lot of convincing for people. I mean, obviously, I met with you and I spoke with you, and I was like, hey, Greg, what information can you give me about this industry? And you're kind enough and graceful enough to share a lot of that with me, but you weren't convinced enough to like, hey, I'm going to trust this guy with marketing, which totally fair. But that's where for us, we wanted to make sure that we kept it going. And then going into that 2022 year, then things started really taking off, and thankfully hasn't really slowed down that much since.
I'm going to try and manage the mics a little bit, folks. There we go. technical difficulties here. We're in an environment. We're actually in the lobby.
Yeah, we are.
Because I'm fledgling here. I'm a fledgling podcaster, and I don't have like Mike Allen money, so I don't have a room to go to. So I'm in this kitchen area, or not kitchen area. Anyway, we're going to try to buffer all that sound out. But anyway, that's pretty amazing. I mean, your growth has been pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for this industry for like kind of really taking us in and trusting what we can do. And again, no one had to sign up and trust what we had to bring to the table. And I think technically some did, and then we were able to bring that value pretty quickly. And then from there, they were kind enough to share us with others that they knew in the industry, because this industry is so well connected. And one, I didn't realize how many conferences there were in this industry going into it. I was like, if I knew I had to travel this much, oh my goodness gracious. But at the same time, it's so cool that there's this constant learning throughout this. No one's settling from just being like, oh, I went to one conference once a few years ago and I never need to go again because that's all I need and I'm good to go. No, there's this constant learning, constant education, and people take it seriously when they are here.
Yeah, we're a pretty serious bunch. Yeah. I mean, I attended a lot more years ago, and I kind of like trimmed back because I just kind of burn out in a sense. And then on occasion there was a run where I was speaking at a lot of them, and I just felt that I needed to just circle back to me a little bit, in my own business.
Yeah.
So I kind of just now starting to get back out again, and it's always great. I mean, I was talking to a couple of shop guys just about an hour or so ago, and I made a point that even if you didn't go to one breakout session, even if you didn't attend the keynote, just being here, talking to other shop owners is incredibly important.
Yeah.
Because if you just share one problem that you may have and you find a solution to it, whether it's business or personal, it's a home run, worth every penny coming out, So that's the value. And of course, I feel that we are such an enigma that we only have ourselves to talk to sometimes. It's like, okay, I can't say this to anybody else, but my buddies I can. They'll get it, right? 100%. You can't talk about the customer that you really can't stand, but he spends a lot of money, and how do you get around that? All that stuff, right? So it's a little different, but I know I personally have loved this industry since I've been 8 years old and been into it, and I'll always wear that on my sleeve. And most of everybody I've known and met feel the same way, And now as we get older, it's like the tattoo might be fading a little bit, but we still believe in what we do.
But I think you represent the industry very, very well.
I try.
Yeah,
I try.
Absolutely.
You do a fantastic job. I put my pants on the same way as everybody else does every morning. I just like to be able to be real with it and have fun and really get the word out about what we do and how we do it. I don't know. I've been lucky with that way for myself personally, but yourself, where do you see yourself growing to? Like, are there expansions into other verticals? Is that something you would ever consider?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think auto repair, there are so many shops, and the only thing that limits us is obviously the exclusivity that we offer, because I don't plan on that ever going away.
That's great.
And naturally, as we continue to grow, like, I don't want to keep saying no to others that I could potentially help, and that naturally allows the ability to, like, okay, I don't want to limit the growth of our company either, because if you don't grow, you die in that sense. So for me, the next vertical will probably be auto body. It is probably our next venture. Okay. Like, hey, the next vertical, it's very, very closely similar. The business model is obviously a little bit different. It isn't as much of a recurring basis in terms of frequency. Still, I mean, people unfortunately get into accidents and they need to go back to the same place. And the ways they get found, I know it's pretty. The insurance business is pretty heavily involved and ingrained in the style of that business, but there still are plenty of ways that people still have to search it and find it in Google and things like that. So more than likely, that's the next vertical, but it'll be automotive related for sure, like auto detailing. There's other bunch of different little verticals within automotive that can absolutely bring value to.
Yeah, why change stripes when you really don't have to?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
100%.
You've just got over yourself a heck of a business situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that how you approached it, what you did, how you responded was more than admirable. It really was. And I know it hit you hard emotionally. How did you realize what happened? And then talk about how you cleared that through, how you went through that yourself, not just from the business, but I know it hit you personally.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a heck of a story.
Yeah, no. I'm going to do my best to share it in not as emotional manner. Because obviously whenever it comes from me, I'm pretty good at holding my emotions in.
Yeah.
But when they come out, they come out. And this situation definitely made it come out.
Oh, it hit you hard, man.
And so, I mean, for those that aren't aware, on November 17th, that's when we had our Google Ads account side. It got hacked. So what happened was in 5 a.m, a hacker got in and removed our entire team from Google Ads, like our master account that managed all, again, 150 plus Google Ad accounts, and removed us from ownership. And so thus we could not see, manage, do anything. We couldn't log in and have access to it. And then they added themselves in there to then do whatever they wanted. And when it first happened, I mean, it wasn't in my thought process that, oh, someone's doing something really malicious. It was like, oh, our team was like, oh, we don't have access for some reason. And in my head, I was like, oh, we just didn't have access to like one person's ad account. And like for whatever reason, someone accidentally removed us or whatever it may be. But then it was like, oh, wait, no, it's our master account. I was like, oh, that's really strange. Like, why would that happen? And so then we reach out to Google, so on and so forth. But then probably a couple hours later, that's where the first time someone reached out and be like, hey, I just got this weird charge that tried to go through, and it was like $50,000 that got attempted. And I was like, what? Are you sure? Like, I was so baffled and confused, and like, oh yeah, they sent me a screenshot. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is like, is someone doing something like bad? And then like I get another text, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is very, very bad. And so then that's where like panic starts to rise a little bit of like, how bad is this, like in terms of how far the scale can reach. And slowly but surely, that's where we start getting more and more information, and then reaching out to Google. And that pain of reaching out to Google and kind of being beholden to their support system, that was probably the hardest bit, because I was like, I knew, like, yes, we got hacked, and yes, I knew eventually the trickle effect of how it affects our business. But I was like, right now, they are trying to take money from our clients in the form of just like Google getting charged. So that was also the confusing bit for people. Or like, hey, I was like, they cannot see the bank information because the only place that they could go to were Google Ads. So I was like, well, I don't understand what they're doing. I was like, they can literally only pay Google here, and so Google wins. I was like, it's just like plant for Google. I was like, this makes no sense. But then come to find out, they're creating ads to different products where they probably get an affiliate pay code, or maybe they're not even real. Maybe they're just like a checkout bar where like now they steal people's personal bank information. I have no idea in terms of that, but I know they're using our clients' money to spend on ads, and like a really, really large amount of money.
Well, that was the thing that shocked me. I mean, I got a notification, and fortunately, my card declined everything, right? And what struck me, same thing you did. Like, how come they're not buying gift cards or some kind of crazy other currency transfer mechanism, whatever you call it, and they're buying ads for other people or other scam type situations, and just using the bank account, the Google accounts, to make that happen. And I thought, man, if this, what can't people steal?
Yeah,
it was the online fraud is incredible.
It was absolutely crazy. And so like, and it was one of our employees, their emails got hacked,
right?
And that was where I was like, oh, okay, like that's horrible. Like we're trying to get access back, and we're going through that process while trying to get access back from Google. We rolled into the week of Thanksgiving, and I was like, I like the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, that's where we got an email like, oh, hey, we're going to retroactively set the account back. And I was like, okay, good, perfect, before Thanksgiving, because I was like, people are going to be out of the office. No one's going to get back to me until the following Monday. I was like, people, like that's a lot of days. Like things are starting to tack up now. But sure enough, I didn't get any word back. More than that, the following week, it trickles into the like even further than that. And eventually the FBI gets involved because of the dollar size. And I was just like, this is just, what is this turning into? And it kind of really got pretty crazy there for a second. But then we finally, like, FBI got involved. Next day, all of a sudden, oh, Google remembers how to respond to emails. And then we get access. And so like, oh, perfect. We got access, going through our process of getting things back together. And then a week later, that's where we got hacked again. And I remember that morning, like, one of the other vendors, like, because they happened to deal with this earlier in the day, and they're like, how did you go through it? And I was like speaking with them on the phone. I'm like, hey, this is what we went through. This is the suggestions I have. But then 30 minutes after I hung up, that's where I get an email alert that, like, we got removed again. And, like, it was just sheer panic. Like, I was like, I can't, this is not happening. I was like, there's no way. I was like, we added so many other security things. How is this even possible? And kind of vetting through that all internally. And they can come to find out, like, I hired a security firm to audit everything. Because then I bought, like, all our employees, I bought them all new laptops. And I was like, hey, I don't know where this is originating from, but I can't have people log in until I know, like, things are okay. And that's what the security firm was like, yeah, like, the employee's laptop got hacked. It was like a security app update or something along those lines, where they took to update the security on their computer. And then it whitelisted some sort of back-end code into their computer. Wow. And then allowed this hacker to pretty much pretend to be them on their computer, like, at any time of day. So that's why what I did for the employee that got hacked, I created a new email. I was like, you can't log into your old one. It got hacked, which make you a new one. But because we did that, it was their computer that got hacked itself. Again, I think of all the different ways.
Just throw it away.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like,
But they then saw, like, all, like, the new protocols that we had, because they had access to see everything that I didn't realize the depth in which a hacker could go. So that's where
I thought what was really odd about this was the lack of, it seemed like a lack of caring from Google. Like, you were telling everybody in your updates, which goes to how you responded and what you did, and you kept everybody updated little by little, but you could sense the frustration of not having Google really care about what's going on.
Yeah,
that's what seemed to me. I mean, is that what you felt, like you were having frustrations like that?
Absolutely. I mean, the support system was just, I mean, for a good while, it was just kind of AI generated responses in the sense, like, I knew I was not speaking to a human. Like, it was just like an email that would be like, oh, we received your response. We'll get back to you in 1 to 2 business days. And I was like, I don't have 1 to 2 business days to wait on. Like, this is serious. Like, where there's, like, thousands and thousands of dollars getting affected of different people, some people's credit limits, and then they have to deal with the hassle of changing their cards. I was like, I need this done now. But obviously, it was never done in that kind of response.
Yeah, that took you to a very, very deep emotional state. I mean, your level of reach. I guess I don't know what to say, but you were pretty devastated. You showed it. I thought that brought a lot of, I'd have to say, credibility to have someone of your stature. Not many times people get, like, a CEO of a company gets on and really sends updated videos and has the emotional expressions that you do or did. Okay. And admittedly, it brought you to tears. All right. But that showed how much you cared and how I'll share with you what I would have felt like. I would have felt defeated. Like, this thing beat me, and I'm an emotional. But I'm going to turn around. I'm going to win, and I give you all the credit in the world, because I know that, let's say, a shop owner, for some reason, we cause an engine to fail. Bad oil filter, bad insulation, whatever the case might be. We have that same sense that we've let the client down, and we're going to do whatever we can to correct it. But that doesn't take away the hurt that we feel, our pride, or, I should have done better. I should have done this. I should have done that. That is something that it's a lesson, right? And you never go backward. But again, you handled it like such a pro. I mean, it was very, very, it was special.
I really appreciate that. I mean, it was easily the hardest thing I ever had to go through, like, at this point in my life, just based on the uncontrollable, because I was so dependent upon Google fixing it. I was like, I can't, I'm a big person where I'm like, hey, I can handle it myself. If you want to come along for the ride, come along for the ride. But like, I will take care of it. And in this situation, I literally could not take care of it. I was like, I need them to access it in order to take this person out. I was literally giving step-by-step emails of like, I need you to do this, this, and this, or else like this is going to keep happening. And sure enough, it just like I wouldn't get a response, and then like more would happen. I'm like this is getting. And I was like, you don't have to apologize to the clients for this. It's like I have to. And what sucked is like, in a sense, it wasn't anything different that maybe we could have done. Like had so and so in place, because based on the timing and how quick it happened. Again, it happened within the minute. Like they hacked it, boom, deleted, boom, added. Like it happened so quickly. They're like, a lot of security firms were like that. There's not much you could have done based on what, like, they didn't know what happened, but like they're like, this is definitely a pro because based on the speed and the timing and what they did immediately afterwards. So like, yes, it makes you feel a little bit better, but at the same time, I was like, it doesn't change the fact that this happened, and like I can't help people that that have trusted me all this time. Like some people have been with me for a really long time, and like it happened to them, and I feel like I just felt so bad, and I didn't know what I could possibly do to like help them, other than like I need to reach out to authorities and do all this stuff to like try to speed up this process as much as possible. But thankfully now we're well in the clear. It's been like a good month and change that we're back to normal. I still honestly get a little bit of PTSD where I wake up in the morning and I'm like,
what's going to happen today?
I go to my computer and I just double check to make sure I have access. I mean, I have a lot of different alerts that will get sent to me immediately if something were to happen, but I'm like, what if the alert doesn't go through? Like I just like, I just need to like mentally double check. I'm sure as we get further and further away from this, that I'll be more and more fine. But again,
how did it affect your family life? Where you had the support of everybody, or I mean, normally situations like that, I know that I bring home more tension than I want to because of what you're going through.
Yeah, I mean, my wife made a great comment where she felt she really loved how like during a situation like this, like we became closer together. Okay, and like we really relied on each other versus like pointing blame and doing like, oh, we could have done this thing is your fault, or it was nothing like that. We were like, I'm gonna get emotional living through it again. We just really loved each other and held each other as close as we could, and it wasn't. I mean, I pretty much was like, hey, I'm not going to bring any of this anger to the kids and things like that when they're finally home from school, because I didn't want anything like they were on holiday as well, so like they were home a good amount of the time, but I was like, I didn't want this to affect their life and like being able to see us in a different light during a really highly emotional state where like it's very hard to explain to the kids like what happened. It was we kind of told them like, hey, like a bad guy came into the business and we're trying to get rid of him. Like that's kind of how we explained it. And they're like, oh, why can't we just tell the police to take care of the bad guy? I'm like, I wish I could.
Kids are simple.
Yeah, do something simple like that. But it wasn't that easy where because of the situation. It was hard to explain to clients like everything that's it was. So like to explain to a child, I was like, the best thing I can do is tell them it's going to be okay. And I'm still here and present as a dad, but I'm probably going to be spending more time in the office than usual. Because again, I was like, I would work through the night and like calling people and like this one by one, trying to make sure that they understood the situation. No one was like left a little clueless of like the information I had. And like, it wasn't the funnest conversations because a lot of the time I didn't have that much information. I was like, I'm waiting on Google to give me more information so that way I can share it with you, but this is all I have to share. And like that sucked at times. So
it's a shame. I mean, it's never good when you can't be 100% present for the family. You know what I mean? And you going through something like that. It's great that you and your wife were understanding of one another. Very important. And of course, your faith is your faith, and you probably leaned on that a lot as well to get you through a lot. So you handled it like a champ, dude. I say that seriously. So, but you're on the upswing again. Everything's good.
Yep, everything's good. We're
back
really
to normal.
we're really excited for this year.
Good. What are your goals?
And what we want to accomplish. So we have pretty big goals, obviously, coming and rebounding from this. And I was like, hey, in a situation like this, it's either you try to cut expenses or you try to like just lean in. And so for me, I'm like, I told the entire team, I was like, we're not going backwards. I was like, I refuse to accept that. I'm pretty highly competitive. I think I do a pretty good job of kind of keeping that under wraps for the most part for a lot of individuals. But like when it comes time to compete, like I'm going to compete. Like losing's not really an option for me. And so for us, I was like, yeah, we're investing even more on like the sales and marketing teams than normal. It wasn't something I planned on, but I was like, hey, with what we have going on, I need to build that trust back up again with people and make sure they know that we are going to crush it. And so we kind of are investing a good amount on that side of things and kind of the organization within that we do for every little thing. And we have like pretty big serious updates for reporting that we have coming out this year in terms of like direct ROI attribution to different marketing that we're actually doing for people so they understand what's happening. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the
That's
year.
Great.
And
great.
Kind of what we have.
Got your spirit back.
Yeah.
Look good.
Absolutely.
Let's hand up. All right, man. So listen, outside the shop and outside of you having to watch your internet every day, what drives you? I mean, what do you do on the outside that helps you relax, break away, besides watching tennis?
I'm a big sports guy, so I watch a lot of sports. I mean, obviously, my family is the utmost important thing to me, and they're why I do anything. This is all for them, and hopefully, at the end of the day, they're very proud of what we accomplished as a family. Again, it's not even my personal achievement. It's like, we all did it, because without them being understanding and respectful of like, hey, like daddy has to work right now, and like in a meeting when they're home, rather than playing with them, like I have to do some things. Like without them doing that, like I can't accomplish all the little goals that are needed throughout each and every day. So like again, we accomplish everything together. But things I do for myself, I'm big into, well, at least for the last year, I was really into CrossFit and doing that type of workout. Because for me, I always worked out at home, and I was like, but I wouldn't be like very intense about it, because I was like, I'm at home, I can take my time, no one's watching me, and like no one's waiting on the weights to like trade out, like it's just me, so I can just chill through it. But CrossFit, that gave me a kind of that cardio element that I've been missing for a little bit of time. I've been able to do it in a while, because like naturally during the hacking situation, I have a bone disc in my neck, and I have a little bit of numbness in my finger, and like it made my arm, like I couldn't lift my arm for like a month, where like it just wouldn't work, and it was pretty like scary. And I got MRIs, and eventually like I was like, okay, it's getting better slowly but surely. It's been like 3.5 months still, and I haven't gone to CrossFit in a bit. But I think this coming week I'm gonna finally go back and start really slow again. But that's
gotta get a massage, man.
Yeah, no, I had lots of those, but that's what also made like the whole situation even harder. Like my one outlet that was like I was really enjoying, I couldn't even go to. So like there was no outlet really, because my body was hurting, mentally and physically, and I was like, well, I just gotta power through, because like if I don't power through, then like nothing's gonna happen here. So yeah, I mean, I would say that's a good outlet for me, and just watching the kids play sports now, and live vicariously through them, since I'm old and washed up and can't play sports anymore. I get hurt.
Come on, man, you ain't old. You know, so, trust me, I can hardly hold a bowling ball. Golf is about the best I can do right now. Swing a club, it's light, and you know I can still get some impact on it. And then of course my walking and stuff. But overall, you know, you've come through some really tough times, and I definitely feel it's, and I would think it made you stronger, made you better, more aware. Anything can happen at any given moment, and that's a lesson in business all the way around. I mean, I look at it like walking into a shop. For me, as much as you can plan, when you turn the key to that door, it's like Russian roulette. You never know really what's going to happen, and when you wake up in the morning, it's the same thing. And I think you got to be prepared for the best of times and the worst of times. You can plan and manage and do all that. But you have really been a shining example for a lot of people, whether you know it or not, but I have really appreciated the way that you've done things. And I know your clients have. And I got to make a statement that you weren't the only one, right? You weren't the only marketing firm that was affected by those hackers.
Yeah.
I'm sure that there's a few others, even inside and outside the industry, that were completely surprised as well. And so it was a big thing. Well, listen, man, I appreciate your story. I really am glad to talk to you, even though we kind of talk together anyway. But, it's good to get down and share it with a lot of others. So, Kelsey, it's great. I'm glad to see you once again smiling and out on the good. I'm not going to wish your Braves good.
Oh, man. We're almost there, folks. We're almost there.
It was funny because I was with my time with Napa, and, oh, my God. It wasn't John Luttrell. Oh, Ted. I can't remember Ted's last name. Anyway, we would go to a Braves game, and of course Napa had the suite because they pretty much like market the whole stadium.
Yep.
And this was in the old ballpark. And Ted taught me mound ball. Mound ball is when the catcher throws the ball back to the mound after the inning is over. You're betting on whether it's going to reach the end of the pitching mound or not. So we were having these bets in the suite. Right?
Oh my goodness!
And it was funny as hell. And we were talking maybe $1, $2.
Yep.
I think the kitty never got over 20.
Yeah.
But it was just so funny because I never heard about it. And it rolled over if the ball didn't reach the mound, or it went over the mound, but you won big time if it stayed on the pad.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yep.
It hit just at the peak, right?
Yep.
And it was a lot of fun. So Braves were, I give respect to the Braves. They're a hell of an organization. They really are. No matter, listen, man, they had an off year last year.
It was terrible.
1 out of 10.
Yeah.
Because they're always competitive. And I give them credit for that. They have great organizations, a great farm team.
Yeah.
And I never see them really playing into the free agent market.
They don't. They don't dabble with that.
No,
at
they
all.
don't, man. They Olsen. I was really shocked they let Freeman go.
I was.
That's like
shocked.
insane. But they had Olsen in the bag.
Yeah.
And so they knew the potential, so they bring Olsen up. Freeman, though, goes on to L.A., which that team, oh, my God, that's just...
It's not even fair.
It's not fair. It's not fair.
Can you imagine being a fan of that team and being like,
yeah.
Oh, well, we're going to win again this one.
I'm telling you, man. So my poor Phillies, they had some problems. And the top of the lineup, which was almost $1 billion in salary, pretty much crapped the bed
in the playoffs.
Yeah. There was nothing there. And they tried to go after Bo Bichette, and I didn't think that would work no matter what. But because he was a short going to play third. Then what do you do with Turner? I mean, Turner's your main guy. I thought Alex Bohm played decent enough to hang on to third. He was a power bat on the right side. Well, I should say power bat, but I thought he was still decent enough. So we could turn this into a baseball podcast.
I could talk about baseball all day long, but I don't know if everyone wants to hear about that.
No. We'll save it for another time. Kelsey, thanks a lot for coming in. By the way, folks, we're here at the Elite Worldwide Conference in Arizona, Scottsdale, Arizona. It's my third one. Won't be my last. This is an exciting place to be. Great shop owners left all the way around. If you have the opportunity to look into Elite, I highly advise that you do. It is not a cookie-cutter organization. Whatever model you're running, whether it is volume-based or whether it's high ARO, low cart, decent cart count, they help you understand your business. And it's always people first. Results are going to come if you take care of the people. There's growth. There's everything. There's only 4 principles. So, again, I'll give them a shout-out. I'm a client, proud client. Glad to be here. Once again, my guest has been Kelsey Outram from Lyft Automotive Marketing. Thanks again, buddy. I appreciate it here on SoupRadio. Stay tuned. We'll have this on air. We'll have it in podcast. You can download from Apple, Spotify. We're on Amazon. And, of course, if you go to SoupRadio.net, we'll have these shows live and running 24/7, 365 worldwide. All right? Greg signing off. Thanks again. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. See ya.
Yeah.